What's up everyone? I'm back again with another video. Today I'm basically going to show you some wiring I'm going to do for some lights in their garage. They have a couple lights in there they're not very bright, and so I'm going to replace those with five 4-foot lights. So yeah, if you're interested in watching this might be a good video for you to see kind of how electricity not really works, but just kind of what we do as electricians on a day-to-day basis, sort of. Just depends on what we're doing. But yeah, thought maybe somebody would find this interesting, so I'll show you what's going on. Okay, so basically they got a switch inside of their house, and that turns on this light and this light. And that's all they have in the garage, except for this one. They have this one, which this switch turns on. So that's something, but it's mainly for the little workshop area. So these are the main lights. It's not dark, so you can't see right now, but if it was dark, you would see just how not very lit up these things light up the garage. So I'm gonna take those out. I'm gonna put one 4-inch light or 4-foot light right there, another one up there, another one right here, and another one right here, and then a 5th one up here, which is above the fridge. These are the 4-foot lights I got. They are commercial electric. And then this is pretty much everything that I need. We got our wire, some boxes, yeah. All right, so as you can see, I turn off the 15 amp breaker. You always want to turn off the breaker before you do any work with wires, especially if you don't really know what you're doing. So some people would say you can just turn off the switch, which would turn off the light, which is true. But here they did something in these lights. They did some weird stuff with switch loops and stuff, which is kind of the way they did things back in the day. So I'm just turning off the whole circuit, and I'm gonna look at the wires and see what goes to what. All right, so we got all the tops popped off. Got them right here. These are all opened up. So my plan is I marked out where they need to go. That's the center of the light. I'm gonna hang them up, and then once I have them hung up, I can see what it looks like. I'm gonna notch a little piece out of the wood so that I can put a connector on the light and bring the wire into it. Let's see. I'm hoping that it's enough light. I might try and just connect just one of them when they're up, just to see how bright it is, because it seems like it might not be enough light, but we'll see. Okay, so I just added that one, so now I have 5 altogether. I just drilled some holes through. Started drilling right here, but there's just too many wires to want to drill through right there, so I came over here and I drilled some over here so I can get to that one, to that one, then from there. As you can see, I just drilled holes through there to get to there. This is the drill bit I used. It's an auger bit. I think it's about 3/8. And so now I marked out just where I'm gonna cut out with the Sawzall, which is gonna be right here. Just a little piece so I can at least get a connector up top and in. I could literally just come through here, but I think that would look really cheesy. So I'm gonna put a connector up top, bring the wire in. And so right now, before I do that, I'm gonna pull all the wire through the holes, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, looks like crap, but got all the wire pulled to its locations kind of. I'm gonna staple them up and then I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so I got all the lights put up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now the only thing I have to do is I'm gonna remove that light for them, turn that into a junction box, and then hook up that wire into the junction box. And then they should be powered, all of them. Then they should all work. All right, so here's where I'm at. Put the light up, connected all the wires, stapled it back, and I'll show you kind of with this one how I connected them all. But I got the wire going to this one, and from there it goes over here, through these holes. I'm gonna clean that up, it kind of looks crappy, but to that light. And then these two lights are connected by a wire, by a 14-2, and then from there, go through this hole to this light, which is the start of the first light it'll start, because this light I'm gonna get power, or well, the switch leg, which is what gives power to these lights. When you flip on that switch, it's like just one of these wires going down to the box where the switch is, and when you flip on that switch, it turns all these lights on. So that wire goes to this one, which is the original light. So I'm just gonna use this box as a junction box, and I'll tie through this wire into the old switch leg, if that makes sense. It's probably doesn't make much sense, but this one will be the last thing I do. So, and I just got them hung up by these screws. And I got that notch cut out so I can put a connector in there, bring the wires in. And so for the ground, which is the green wire, and the neutral, which is white, and your hot, which is the black, they come with these little connectors for your wires instead of using wire nuts. And they only have one spot in them for a wire to go in, and I got two different sets of wires coming in. So I'm gonna pigtail these together. So basically I'm gonna take a wire nut, and I made this pigtail out of extra wire, and I put it into here. So there's only one wire coming in here, but I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna take a wire nut, and I'm gonna wire the 3 grounds together. That'll focus. I'm gonna wire nut these together, and same with the neutrals and same with the hots, so that we only have to have one wire coming into here. I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. All right, so this is what I meant. Because I have 2 wires, 2 sets of wires coming in, and these only allow me to put 1 wire in there, I had to condense these two down to 1 wire. So that's how that looks. And then I'm gonna get these back up in there and put the lid back on. All right, well, here we go. We have the lights up. They're working now. Sorry I didn't show you everything. There's so much stuff I didn't really show you guys. This is not really a walkthrough or tutorial. It's more so just kind of showing you how I did it. I will say that if in this particular home, if just a homeowner tried to do this, it would not work. It just wouldn't be possible for a homeowner to do this who has no knowledge about electrical. Because, and I'll tell you why, this is the panel, okay? the homeowner's panel. And normally, nowadays, the way they build homes is these are home runs. They come to the panel. This is a sub panel. These are home runs. And usually when we have a home run going from the panel, which is one set of wires in one of these sheathing that goes to just an outlet somewhere. And then from that outlet, it'll branch off and feed other outlets, and maybe they'll bring one to a light or to a light switch, and then that'll feed all the lights in the house or just something weird like that. But in the old days, they brought the home runs. They brought one to this light where the old light was. And then from there, they just did a bunch of weird things back then. So just, you might not want to try this if you're a homeowner, because I had to do a lot of things. I had to use my multimeter because the circuit that this was on was tripping from another circuit. And so I had to open, that's why the panel's open, because I had to fix that problem before I could work on this, because one of the breaker that it was on was getting 20 volts even when it was off. And so this might be something that like random things like this could happen. And if you open it up and start messing with things and you don't know what's happening, you might not know what to do. And so it might be a good idea if you do something like this to call a licensed electrician to come out and do this for you. But if it's like a new home, chances are it'll be pretty simple. So yeah, that was that. Cool.